welcome to my channel. My name is Jemiah Rochelle, and as you can see by the title, I have some very exciting news to share. I'm so excited about this new journey in my life. I finally got accepted into nursing school, y'all. Finally, okay? I've been waiting for a year and a half for this to happen, okay? Or no, I'll just say 3 semesters. I've been waiting for this for 3 semesters, all right? So, as you all may know, or you may not know if you're new, I go to Georgia State University, and I started in 2015. So, technically, I'm a junior, but I took a semester off, so I'm a little bit behind. And I'll just say that, I know that nursing school is going to be something else, because getting into nursing school literally felt like I was pulling teeth, okay? It felt like it probably wasn't going to happen, but thank God it did, and I'm just here to share my story. So, my second semester of my sophomore year is generally when everybody would apply for nursing school, right? But I was a little nervous because at my university, they say, get all A's, especially in your science classes. But unfortunately, I got a C in microbiology. I took it in the summer, and that was probably one of the worst bits of advice that I've ever gotten from an advisor, and I got a C. So that made my freaking GPA take a dive for the worst, okay? I had a 3.3 science GPA, which is exactly what I needed for nursing school. And after that, I think I had like a 2 something. So when it was time for me to apply to the nursing program, I believe I had like a 3.7 overall GPA, but I had a 2 point something science GPA. And also, you have to take an entrance exam for nursing school, either the HESI, the TEAS, and I think there's another test that you can take. But I had a 73.3 on the TEAS the first time I took it, but then I retook it and I got an 81.3. Now they want you to get an 85 at least on the TEAS. They say shoot for that to be competitive, but I had an 81.5, so I figured, that's close enough. So my application wasn't looking too great. I had a little bit under 100 volunteer hours, and I think that they want you to get at least 100. So for the most part, my GPA was subpar, okay? Now, I had so many people telling me your GPA is still good. Like, my overall GPA was a 3.7, but, you have to have at least a 3.3 to even apply. So I was already just pushing my luck by applying. So I applied to Georgia State and Kennesaw, and both of those programs are, I would say, equally competitive. Like, people who apply to Kennesaw, they say the same thing. People are transferring from Georgia State to Kennesaw. People transferring from Kennesaw to Georgia State, and everybody's like, well, I think I might have a better chance here. And I'm like, girl or guy, it's just as competitive, okay? So I didn't get into either one of those schools. But Georgia State, they have a repeat to replace program. So I retook microbiology, and then on top of that, okay, I said I already got a C plus or a C in microbiology, but that same semester, at the end of that semester, I got a freaking C plus in anatomy 2. So I was just like, oh my gosh. So reapplying, that's going to be 2 C's on my transcript, which meant my science GPA was pretty much ruined, okay? So I decided to retake both of those courses, but they tell you that for like nursing students and maybe like other science majors, if you repeat to replace a science course, they won't completely do away with the original grade that you had. They averaged both of those grades. So I had a C. So if I get an A in microbiology, I would have a B. But luckily, that kind of worked out in my favor, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So I decided to retake those classes in the fall, but I also reapplied to Georgia State. That was not the smartest idea, okay? Because I was in the middle of retaking those classes, which meant my transcript didn't have a grade on there. So everything was the same. Actually, things were worse because I added on a new C. I don't know why I did that. I was just so eager to apply, so eager to get in. I already felt like, I'm already going to be a semester behind. I need to get in. Like, I'm really one of those control freak type people. Like, I have a plan. I have to stick to it. I mean, I can bounce back if it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to be, but I need to get back on the course of that plan. And that's where I went wrong, okay? Because God had a different plan for me. So, I applied to Georgia State again, and I did not get in, which I expected. But I was really nervous because at Georgia State, you can only apply to the program twice. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't apply again. Like, I just butchered both of my shots. So I was like, I got to figure out something else to do. And, I wanted to keep my job, so I needed to go to a school in that area that wasn't too far away for me to commute, back and forth between work and school and home. So that was a factor. Then, everybody's like, you can go to a private school, Mercer, Emory, Chamberlain, but those schools are extremely expensive. Like, you all know, well, you may not know, but if you've been following me and watching me, you know that I was supposed to go to Spelman. I couldn't get a loan for that. So how in the heck am I going to get a loan for Mercer, Emory, or Chamberlain, right? So I'm just like, well, where else can I apply? So I applied to West Georgia. But, and this is for all those people who, want to transfer schools. Transferring colleges is not that easy, okay? They want different, they have different requirements. Georgia State, they want the T's. West Georgia want the HESI, okay? Georgia State, they have the repeat to replace. West Georgia, they don't have repeat to replace, but they did kind of take both attempts, so that's pretty much like the same thing. So that was fine. But all of my courses that I took at Georgia State did not transfer over when I got to West Georgia. And just my luck, 4 out of 6 of the classes that did not transfer were A's, okay? My GPA was, it was horrible, okay? My GPA was horrible. It was like a 3.3. And hopefully I'm not offending anybody, but I have really, really high standards for myself. And to me, a 3.3 was just not good. So, being a transfer at West Georgia, they kind of go in favor of their home students. So being that I was a transfer student, that did not work out in my favor. They wanted you to have at least a 3.4 as a transfer student. I had a 3.3. Now my HESI score was really good. I had an 88.5% on the HESI. So that was really, really good. But Georgia State, they accept volunteer hours. West Georgia didn't. Georgia State, they accept recommendation letters. West Georgia didn't. So I didn't have that cushion of those other things to kind of boost my application at all. So it was pretty much just the numbers. So I didn't get into West Georgia. And also West Georgia required you to be a CNA. They wanted you to be CNA certified. So I took a semester off that spring semester because I had already taken all of my prerequisites for West Georgia, Georgia State, any school. I had already taken the prerequisites for, for the program. So I didn't want to just waste my hope or waste my time or my money taking just extra classes. So took the semester off. I went to Covenant CNA school, got CNA certified, and that was like $800 something for me to not get in. Y'all, I was literally so sad. Like, I was so sad. I, took a semester off from work. So I was just like, it'll work out perfectly because I can start in the summer. Because I work for a school. So, there are certain requirements that you have to follow being a student. And it was just not looking good for me at all. Like, I was starting to question whether or not nursing was for me. I was just like, is this a path that I chose for myself and just kind of slap God's name on it to validate what I was doing? Or is this really what he wanted me to do? I prayed. People kept asking me, how's nursing? How's school going? When you going to graduate? And I literally just did not know because I hadn't been accepted into a program, and that was kind of getting to me as well, because it was like I kept having to explain my situation over and over and over, and I literally hated that. Like, I hated it so much. It was so sad, but I continued to pray. I kept a smile on my face, and I was just like, you know what, it's going to work out. So, Georgia State, you had to turn in the application on March 1st, okay? They tell you that 4 to 6 weeks after you get accepted, after you turn in your application, you should hear whether you were accepted, waitlisted, or denied. 4 weeks go by, don't hear anything. 6 weeks go by, nobody has heard anything. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with allnurses.com, but if you ever apply to nursing school, typically, all the programs, they have a thread on there. So everyone who applied, they drop their statistics, they put their numbers, they say how competitive they are, and they'll just kind of keep you updated on if they got into the program, if they didn't. So it's it's like a community that you can go to and kind of wait together, right? 6 weeks go by, we haven't heard anything. And then we'll hear someone say, oh, my friend got in. And so we're just like, oh my gosh. So I didn't hear that I was waitlisted until maybe like the end of March. Like maybe, I think it was like March 22nd or something like that. So I was a hot mess. But, I have so many great people around me, outside of people at school, like advisors and stuff, who keep me grounded, and I had one of my fathers in love told me, oh, you got it. Like, if you got waitlisted, you are in, because if you weren't going to get in, you would have got denied. So you're just waiting for that acceptance letter, but it's coming. So I was just like, you know what, okay, you're right. I continue to pray about it, and I felt like, that was God's way of telling me, just hold tight. And I would tell everybody else this, God is just working out a better situation for someone else who got accepted, so that I can get my better situation, which is getting into Georgia State's nursing program. And at the time, I had applied, this time around, I applied to both programs. I don't know if you all know, but Georgia State, they have a traditional program, which is 6 semesters, but it doesn't include summers. And they have accelerated program, which is 6 semesters, but it does include summers. So one is a year and a half, the other is 3 years. And I was at work, I would never forget, I was at work, and I got a phone call from Georgia State. I answered the phone call, and the guy was just like, hi, I'm calling to discuss your application with you. And at this point, I'm just like, okay. And he's like, initially, you were waitlisted. And so all types of things go through my head. I'm just like, is he about to tell me that I'm not waitlisted anymore? It was a mistake. Like, I didn't get in. What's he going to say? And then he was like, but a spot has opened up. Y'all, I cut that man off. I was like, I'll take it. I didn't even know which program that I got into. I did not care. I was like, I will take it. And so he told me that I got to the traditional program. And I know it's longer. It's 3 more years. But it's okay. Because, I have more time to make more out of my college experience. I didn't join a lot of clubs. I joined some, but I just didn't make the most out of my college experience. And I feel like giving me 3 more years is God telling me, okay, here's your chance. Do the things that you said you wanted to do while you were in college. Have some fun, make some friends, do something outside of schoolwork. And I get to keep my job. So that's a blessing. And also I get more time to actually, accept the fact that I'm going to be working in the real world soon. Like, I can come to terms with that. So, overall, y'all, it was a long process. I applied 5 times, okay? 3 times to Georgia State, 1 time to West Georgia, 1 time to Kennesaw, all right? I got rejected 4 times, all right? That is a lot to take. But if you continue to pray and you have faith in God, He will get you where you need to be. So, I'm So excited. Like, I'm so excited. A little nervous because I have been out of school since last year, but you know, I can do it. I know that I can do it. I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to enjoy my college experience. And this is just my message to all of you out there who are applying and you feel like what you have is not good enough. If it's meant for you, honey, it will be for you for sure. Don't doubt yourself. Don't listen to those advisors who are telling you, oh, your GPA is too low. You should consider changing your major. You should change your major to this. I'm telling you, you're not going to get in, because I had someone say that to me. Okay, I had an advisor at Georgia State tell me that I wasn't going to get in, tell me that my GPA wasn't good enough, and I had a 3.7. All right, so it can happen for you. It can definitely happen for you. And it dropped from a 3.7. So I got accepted into Georgia State with a 3.67 GPA, a 3.3 science GPA, a 81.3 on the T's. In between the time of me applying the first time and the second time, I volunteered. I volunteered at the hospital. I did things at school, and I got over 100 volunteer hours. I was in extracurricular activities, and I worked. I've been working since I was 16, so, you know, that kind of came to my advantage a little bit, but it can happen for you. Please like, comment, subscribe, ask questions. You know, I'm here. I don't really see a lot of videos about nursing students at Georgia State, so I really wanted to make these videos, and I'm going to record the journey. I'm going to make videos about it. I'm here to answer questions, give advice. If any of you out there have any questions or need reassurance, I'm your girl, honey, because I've been through it. It's been a long time coming, but God brought me here. I'm super excited. I'm super thankful. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope that you all enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.